Good morning, Mac. Thanks so much for doing this interview.
Good
If you
morning,
could,
Allison.
good morning. If you could start by sharing with folks your name and what your current position is.
Sure. My name is Max Steele, and I work at the Center for Conflict Resolution. And I have two titles. One is Volunteer Director, and the other is Associate Director of Development.
And what first interested you in dispute resolution or pursuing a career in ADR?
Well, that's a really good question. I sort of stumbled into it. I was living in New York and working for an arts organization there. And I knew I didn't want to do that forever. I didn't see any jobs in that arena that I would want 10 or 15 years down the road. So I started thinking about perhaps pursuing law or maybe social work, and I happened to come across a job posting at a community dispute resolution center. I'd never really even heard the word mediation, so I kind of looked it up, and I was like, what is this mediation thing? And I was like, wow, that might be amazing. And so I sent in my application and was lucky enough to get the job. So I've been in the field ever since.
And how long has that been?
I started at the Safe Horizon Mediation Program in 2006. So since then, I guess that is 9 years.
And as you were experiencing, working at Safe Horizon, now New York Peace Institute,
hmm
and thinking about the projection of your career, what advice did you get about the possibility of being an ADR this early in your career?
Well, essentially, I learned pretty quickly that saying yes to everything would be really useful early on in my career because I didn't have a background in another area, so I wasn't already an attorney or a social worker or an educator or someone that could really pair my new conflict resolution skills with an arena that I was already familiar with. And so I was just kind of open to learning anything and taking any opportunity. So I was one of those folks that after I took my basic mediation training, I was kind of a junkie. I went to every continuing education I could, every breakfast meeting I could, and I learned kind of by doing. I would take on projects that I wasn't sure I was quite prepared to do and learn how to do them, and then that's how I worked it through.
And so, as you've had this career for the past 9 years in ADR, what are all the different positions that you've held at the two different community mediation centers you've worked at?
Well, I started in a case management role in the Brooklyn Mediation Center, and that was a crazy job. There was a lot going on in that job, but it was great. It was kind of a boot camp um, because you were so busy and you were mediating and working with the volunteers, and that was great. And then I did some outreach work, so outreaching to schools and other community groups. And then I also did some training work in schools during that period. And then I was a training coordinator in the Brooklyn office or Safe Horizon Mediation Program. So helping plan and execute the 40-hour mediation skills trainings and the trainings that we did in the community for school groups and other government offices and non-government offices. And then when I came here to Chicago to go to grad school, I was lucky enough to get a job here at Center for Conflict Resolution. There happened to be an opening for a volunteer director position. So I started here with that job, and then a year and a half or so ago, we added the development piece to my job here.
So, you've held a lot of different positions in dispute resolution. What do you like most about working in ADR?
Gosh, I like so many things about it. That's hard to say which thing I like the most. I think I really enjoy that there is a community of people who are centered around certain ways of thinking or certain principles of how they operate as professionals in ways of helping other people. And they practice in different ways, and that looks very different for a lot of people. but the sort of core ideas are the same, and I think that they connect us and give us a sense of community. So I guess I also really appreciate what conflict resolution has given me my personal life. I think it's helped me develop my ability to have really valuable conversations with my friends and my family and in my work life. It has really helped me um, elevate my communication in all areas.
That's really cool. And last, if somebody were to approach you, as I'm sure many do, about wanting to start a career in ADR early in their professional life or even as their first career, what advice would you give them?
I would say yes to everything. So take a 40-hour mediation skills training, try to get a broad base of experience and get your name out there. And if you want to do well in this field, you really can't underestimate the value of sort of business planning. I think Woody Mosteen has some really interesting ideas about how to sort of put together your career in a way that will work for you. And he talks a lot about investing time and resources, meaning money. So if we don't, as a lot of young professionals don't have a lot of money, then I think we have to be pretty ready to invest our time. So this is not a 9 to 5 gig. This is a nights, weekends, all the time kind of thing. And so setting up your life in such a way where that will work for you will be helpful. But honestly, it's so rewarding that I couldn't have chosen a better field. This was one of the best decisions I ever made.
What a great way to end this interview. I am so thankful that you took the time to do this with us and to share your story on this blog. So thank you so much, Mac.
Thank you, Allison.